Hi, I'm Matt Holmes with Listen LowCo. If you've been watching the show up to this point, you've already had a chance to meet Patrick, myself, and a guest or two. And while Patrick and I will continue to be the primary hosts of the show, occasionally we're going to have a guest host, as well as a guest. This is the first. Today's show will be hosted by none other than my very talented wife, Leli Holmes. Leli's fine art business brings the Lowcountry to life through acrylics, watercolor, and fabric pattern design. She also has a passion for exploring the stories of other women entrepreneurs of the Lowcountry. Today, Leli's going to be interviewing Lissy Rawl, owner and founder of the ever-popular Little Fish Boateak, where she designs and handcrafts Lowcountry-inspired jewelry and accessories. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this special edition of Listen LowCo.
Hey, I'm Leli Holmes from Leli Holmes Art. I'm a fine artist and surface designer. And I wanted to come on and just interview some of my favorite entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, and one of my favorite female entrepreneurs locally is Lissy Rawl from Little Fish Boateak and Clover and Palm, most recently Clover and Palm. And I wanted to just have her share her story because it's definitely inspired me. And I know it will inspire others, especially people that are, wanting to do their own creative business, other artists. So can you tell me your story? I know we've talked about this so many times I love your story of how you started.
Yes. So it really started out of wanting to be able to be at home with my girls. So that was the whole thought process. I've always been creative. I've always been a maker. So I've always been making behind the scenes, constantly wanting to create other product that I've seen. So I decided to create jewelry because I was doing interior design at the time, and I had all these beautiful fabric sample books that they would let me take home to sew with. And so I was sewing with them, but I would look at them and I thought, how cool would this be if I could put them in earrings? And then I thought, well, it needs to have a metal casing so it looks more luxurious. And so I started to learn with YouTube how to hammer out metal. And it would wake me up at night. It would keep me up, this idea. It was so exciting, and it just was driving. I would wake up at 3 a.m. and I just was envisioning it. I could see it. I knew what it looked like. And so Bill, my husband, said, you need to just go after this idea once and for all. Quit talking about it, because I think I was driving him crazy. And so I cleared out our garage and I got a workbench and a hammer and I ordered cheap supplies and I just started teaching myself how to do it. And that's how it all really began. Willa, our youngest, was probably 3 at the time, and I would put her water table out and she'd be in her diaper playing in the driveway while I'm sitting there making jewelry. And it was really a cool time when I look back at it. It was, I think almost 11 years ago, maybe more already, but it was such a good time because the sky was the limit. I didn't know exactly where I was going with it, but I was loving what I was doing and I was creating this vision that I had in my head. And so I started there, and then it slowly grew over time with pop-ups and really just home trunk shows. Friends would put it in their store. I worked at Black Marlin at the time bartending, and they let me put it in Black Marlin's showcase. And so it just started to grow a little organically and word of mouth, and it just continued to keep me busy. And as it was keeping me busy, ideas were growing, and I continued to design new pieces, and I really was finding something that I loved.
And what was your moment when it really took off for you?
I feel like I started playing with rope because I love to work with materials, all different materials, and I love texture. It's probably my favorite part of design, the whole process. I just love all these mixes of materials. And so I got rope out because I had not seen anybody doing it. And I made a necklace, and I went to Charleston Fashion Week. And I'm not positive that this is where it happened, but I was selling these rope necklaces for the first time, thinking people probably think I'm crazy with this design, but they all sold out. And one woman did come through, and her friend kept saying, do you know who she is? So I think she might have been a woman from Southern Living. And they put it in their gift guide that Christmas. And I will say that that changed a lot for me. I don't know if they realize what they do for a small business in that moment, but that necklace sold to every state, craziness everywhere. And it really gave me a great foundation to be able to reinvest into the business and really start to grow it from that standpoint. So I feel like that was a really good learning moment for me as well, because I ran out of every supply possible and panicked constantly as I'm trying to get all these orders out in time for the holidays. But I do think I think it gave me validation and maybe more encouragement too, that I was doing something cool, because sometimes you're in your garage making these things thinking, do people even like this? Are they just buying it because they like me and they're my family or they're my friend and they want to support me? But I think it really validated that maybe I'm onto something cool. And so I just continued to chase all these ideas that were in my head.
That validation is huge.
It is.
So how did you keep up with these orders being a new business?
It was challenging. I started to bring in some help. They were amazing. All of these great girls started to come to my house and they would work around my kitchen island. So I trained them on how to make the fabric earrings, which was wiring, which I think it looks more simple than it is. And I thought it was more simple than it was. So as the training process went on, it was harder than I thought it would be for everybody to make them. But I would feed them and serve them wine around my kitchen island and pay them per piece as they were helping me build an inventory, because I started to sell to more stores. I went to Atlanta, America's Mart, twice and sold, which was, looking back, probably went too soon, because a lot of stores picked it up, which was great. And there were a lot of great stores all the way up the coast, but not realizing that a lot of the surrounding brands were manufacturing. So of course they can keep up with it. But here I am handcrafting, get all of these orders, and you go home and you have to make so much. And it was exhausting. And the reason I had started was to spend time with my girls, be able to go on the field trip, be a part of their life. And now I'm buried in hand making jewelry 14 hours every single day just to keep up with the demand of what I created. So I've learned so much. I don't regret any of it. I feel like it taught me a lot, but that did lead eventually to a burnout, which was probably inevitable. I had these SCORE mentors who I still do to this day. I love them so dearly. They've helped so much with that business side, which I'm terrible at. And they were warning me of the signs of this burnout. But as a creative, you just don't know anything else but to go and keep going. And so I definitely got to that point where I ended up having to really rebuild about 3 years ago. I hit that burnout, wanted to walk away because I was just exhausted. And I lost what I loved about it. And what I was trying to create it was just not where I was supposed to be. So I ended up going back to just me and having one of the girls stay on where she still works from home. And it's been kind of a rebuild phase for me with a stronger foundation, taking everything I've learned, a lot of the failures, and just really trying to create something stronger and easier to manage so I can still focus on my family, which is the most important part of everything. So I have learned a lot, and I continue to fail. I will fail today at something, I'm sure, but I've gotten really good at failing and knowing that there's a lesson in it, and not saying the world is ending because I failed again, because it used to be like, oh my God, something broke or it tarnished. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Now it's like, oh, okay, I'll figure out how to fix that and make it better. So I continually try to improve everything that I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we were talking about before the cameras started rolling. Being a creative has its own particular types of challenges, right?
Yes.
Because I think the value to us is in what we create, not necessarily the monetary value.
Right.
Or, I think sometimes people can think, oh, she has it made, but they
Right.
don't see behind the curtain.
No.
And
Bill would tell you otherwise. Right. Our marriage would tell you otherwise.
well, I mean, I appreciate you sharing those particular types of struggles. And I think also, how do you know where to focus when, as a creative, you want to just keep creating, you
Right.
know, to step back and say, I need to shore up the foundation
Right.
for my business. That's That's huge.
I feel like it's a funny time that we're meeting right now because I have found myself right back into the same habits that put me into the path of burnout. I'm literally this past week right back where I'm going, oh no, and at least the alarm bells are going off that this is not good. This is not good. My priorities were wrong when I burned out. I had Little Fish up here and then my husband and children below it. It should never be that way. They need to be at the top. And so my time was going all to Little Fish and not to these people that matter so much to me. So it started to happen again recently because I take on a lot. I'm that kind of person. I love to say yes. I love to help other people. I love it. I love what I do. It's so much fun to me. I don't want to say no to anything because if you want me to create a new design for something, it excites me and I just want to dive right in, and then I get lost for hours and hours. So that's what happened. I was getting lost in the design and forgetting about how important it is to really spend time with my family. So I guess it's in me from that burnout that I don't want to do that again. And I definitely need to take a step back sometimes from the hustle that you have to do as a creative. And I don't know, I guess it's just been more recognizable for me after the first time that everything went wrong. And so just trying to make sure that they're my priority.
So, well, I think that's great advice. One of my favorite things about you is that you are always such a cheerleader for other businesses, other women in business.
We all need it.
We all need it. And I think when you are a creative, there's a particular bond and understanding that comes with others. So I really appreciate you offering, again, like I said, that look behind the curtain.
Oh, yeah. I like people to see behind it because I think if I can help somebody faster to figure something out, the better. I've had to do all of this on my own because I learned from YouTube and I've been learning every day. And I feel like it's been hard. I haven't had anybody in my life like a mother or an aunt that did something like this. So branding to marketing to packaging to business, it's all been learned as I go. And so I've been lucky that there have been people that have come into my life that can help me. But if I can help anybody to make their process faster or a little easier or at least support them, I know what that feels like. And I still need it every day. I still need help with anything. And I love a coffee date. I love to invite, I have more coffee dates, probably why I get burnout and stretch thin too, because I spend more time wanting to go have coffee and learn from people. I'm like a sponge in life right now where everything people are saying I'm absorbing, and it's really fun to get all that knowledge from people. So I love to share anything I've learned with others too, to try to help them speed along their process or not feel so overwhelmed.
And I feel like your personality comes out in your brand.
Yeah, I think I am my brand. I can't help myself.
It's funny. I remember, I think years before I met you, I was wearing your earrings. Yeah. And I'm not even a jewelry person.
No, I'm not either. That's the funny part about I create jewelry and I was never a jewelry girl. I wore simple pearls and hoops. That was about it.
Well, this is the first jewelry.
Yeah. It's like, I love it.
I've actually worn, and I think it just kind of remakes every outfit.
Right.
You know, to have
I think that's part of why it's been a bit of a success is that I've designed it for myself who does not, I don't like to feel it. I don't want to know it's on. I want it to be easy to put on and off with the magnetic clasp. It's very easy. And the earrings are so lightweight. And so I think that's probably why it had worked out so well, is that it was more of a word of mouth that if somebody bought it, they would talk it up because they loved how it felt. And so it's like a pattern or something fun that you can put on. And I definitely have a style. I'm definitely very classic coastal preppy. And I've tried to go off of that at times when people ask me to design something for them. And again, that's something I look back on as a little bit of a failure. Like, why didn't I just stay true to myself? There's times where you will go off and do these things. And those collections, I don't think were my best because I wasn't in it. I didn't love it. And I was doing it for the wrong reasons.
I love it too, that style, because you're here. You're going to pop-ups. People relate to it. I mean, I know with art, I've tried to get outside the coastal vibe, and that's great, but it's not really true to where I started out, and I'm not going to sell it around here. So I think I saw your stuff in Annapolis too. That was
and that was from America's Mart. Yeah. So when I went, so it really went out there, and they were a big store who had multiple stores. So again, looking back, that was probably, I don't know if it was a bad decision because it did get me out there, and I grew from that. And I'm always growing from some of these experiences where I feel like that could be a setback in a way. But it's just been it's been such good lessons at the same time too. And I really have grown so much in all these years. And I'm just continuing to be driven more and more, which I thought maybe I would eventually kind of run out of ideas. It's the complete opposite. I have too many ideas right now, which is again where you can get into that burnout because you're chasing so many different ideas, and I get so excited by it. It's like it keeps me up at night, literally. And I have phases. So I've been in a very big creative phase since Christmas. I don't know why they come or where they come from, but can't sleep at night, writing everything down that I possibly can, because you can't create it all now. And I'll revisit it throughout the next couple of years because you will hit a dry spell. You will have moments of I don't feel that creative. So it's fun when you're in that. I'm in a very fun place right now because I feel very creatively driven.
I used to watch the show Mad Men.
Oh, I love that show.
Don Draper, the lead character, he would always say, we let our creatives be uncreative until they are.
Right.
And I love that phrase because you cannot make yourself be creative. No. You just have to roll with it.
It's like phases of life that you have. And when they're there, they're amazing. And you just have to jump on it and get everything down that you possibly can. And then when it's time, you can start creating it. I love it.
What do you do to kind of refocus when you are in a dry spell, when you need to?
I think I spend more time on myself, which sounds funny because it has nothing to do with creating anything. Honestly, it's creating myself more. So I love yoga. I discovered yoga a few years ago. A friend took me for my birthday, which I don't know why I had not done it sooner. It was absolutely eye-opening for me, as far as I have high anxiety my whole life, and I think that can play well into my creative drive as well. I think anxiety plays a good part with the creativity, but it can also hurt you. And so the yoga experience, I go to Jiva, and just the community there, everything about it will kind of center me in a place where I feel really great. And so I think that has helped a lot with how I can kind of get back to myself and really stay focused and balanced instead of being all over the place.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so I would love to talk about designing your own material.
Oh, yeah.
That's been a cool development that I've seen.
That was something I wanted to do when I was in college, funny enough. I really wanted to be a fashion designer when I was young, and then it turned into interior design when I was really starting to look at college and the reality of where I was going. And so we did have a textile class in college, and I just loved it. And I love pattern, and I love material. I love paintings. I love all things creative. So it was really exciting when Spoonflower, I discovered online that you can print anything onto fabric. So I started to play with paint, which I could have gotten lost painting for years at the time, but I only had like a good week, which I ended up stretching to 2 weeks of just really just painting and learning about it. I would love to revisit that more in the future. But now also with AI, I'm able to take little bits of paintings and create patterns with AI, which is a whole nother, I could get lost in that. And it's so fun, all the different products that you could potentially make with all these new outlets. I thought AI was going to be awful and it's going to take away, but if anything, I think it's elevated my ideas, and wow, I can do this and I can do this. So the painting and creating your own textiles is so fun, and I think I've just begun with it. I don't think I've even really gone all in on that by any means with the time frames that I have with everything, but it's so fun. It definitely excites me and drives me into what I can do with all these new patterns.
I know. I think for so long we were told it's going to replace us, but with creativity, it really just opens all of these new doors. You know, like I don't know a thing about coding, but now it's writing its own code. You know, you never know what you
unbelievable.
Do with it.
It's taking us to another level, I feel like.
Yeah, you just blew my mind the other week when you were telling me about diving into ChatGPT and having it generate images.
It's crazy. It's awesome.
So, so talk about Clover and Palm. How did that come about?
Clover and Palm it's a new brand, a new venture with Kelly Karen, who was one of my first retailers with Little Fish. So she carried my designs in the very beginning.
How did she find you with Little Fish?
You know, I really don't even know when I look back on it. She had just reached out about carrying it, so I don't even know, honestly. But she did, and we built a relationship through that, as well as she would allow me to come through her library of materials and would get the wall coverings for me that I could use. So we've had a great friendship and relationship through the years. And so funny enough, when I was at that burnout point 3 years ago, I had gone on a yoga retreat with this amazing group of women who I still go with, and they have changed my life, truly. I came back and I was manifesting, which I think is so cheesy, and I never saw myself being a girl that would just manifest in a yoga class. I never saw any of that. But as I was manifesting in this class the entire time, saying, what's the next thing? I know there's something bigger for me. Open that door. What is this? I cannot handcraft the rest of my life. This is going to have to change into something. What is it? And I got in the car and Kelly had messaged me about creating a jewelry brand together, which was like, well, this is it. This is awesome. So we got together and just started to design and come up with concepts of what it would look like if we created a brand together, and taking our two styles, which are very different.
How would you describe hers?
I would say she's a lot more glamorous. You know, she's got some sparkle and she's pretty fabulous. And I definitely feel like I'm more earthy and natural and comfy. I want it to feel like every day. So it's really cool to see how our designs came together to be something for a little bit of everybody. And it's been so much fun to design with somebody else. I'm so used to having to have all the pressure and all of the workload on myself. So it was really exciting to have a partner. And it's just, I think your designs can be that much better when you have two people that can really work together, which is kind of how I learned in school with interior design. We really did work together as a team. So it's been so much fun working with her. We're still just getting it off the ground. We're still really trying to figure out our way with it, but it's definitely been such a fun time so far with it.
So what is the difference? Like, what Clover and Palm is more?
It's definitely more elevated. It's more resort luxury style. It still has that coastal feel, because I do find the struggle with it right out of the gate in the beginning of which design do I give to which one in my head, because I have a lot of ideas and I'm not quite sure if I should share that one with Clover or Palm or Little Fish. So I think as the separation really started to happen with the more elevated glam style with Clover and Palm, it helped me to know what to push over into Little Fish. So it's definitely, Little Fish is more, I think, everyday, and it's more approachable as far as how the designs lay out. But with Clover and Palm, it's definitely elevated and it's a treat. And it's something that is, I think, more special for where our price point and our designs are with it.
So what is your favorite piece you've done for Clover and Palm?
For Clover and Palm, I would say, I don't have it on. I do have the necklace on, but it's similar to this. It's actually our logo. It started with our logo design. And honestly, I was cutting up paper and manipulating it into a shape that looked like a palm leaf. And it became our earrings. So we do have a statement that I think is what we hope will be our recognizable piece. And it comes in different sizes, but it's an earring like a palm leaf. And I think it's just classic, and it goes well for the glam or the everyday. It kind of meets both women, and I think it's very special because it's recognizable, which I'm really big on. When I started Little Fish, going back to that, I really think that it's important that you always go back to something that it's recognizable, your brand, your logo, or it's a piece that's different enough that people look at it and say, oh, that's Little Fish. I don't want to look like everybody else. There's so much jewelry out there, and it's really hard still not to look like other people. And I'm constantly trying to change and evolve with that. As soon as something's looking like somebody else, I really try to make it unique. So when I met with Kelly, I definitely emphasized that we need to make sure that there's a piece that's kind of iconic for our brand, that people know that that's ours. And I think we've done a good job with that.
That's, I mean, two very, very creative women coming together. It's
fun.
I remember going to your launch party, and I mean, just the creative energy there was so cool.
It was fun. It was. It's really cool to work with her. She's really great.
Now, will you guys take that one to market, or have you?
I'm not sure exactly where we're going with it. The world is in a strange place right now with the economy and stores. Things are changing, and with AI. So we are definitely starting to put it into retail shops, but I think we're taking it slow. We're not in a hurry to grow it. And I think we're really evaluating where the best place is going to be still for it. So we're not totally positive yet. We're just slowly growing with it and enjoying the process.
And we can count on both Little Fish sticking around.
Yes. I can't get rid of Little Fish.
Yeah.
It's in me. It's who I am. It's my
Good,
baby.
because it's my favorite.
It is. It's so fun. And yeah, it's not going anywhere. I have lots of fun things still coming up with Little Fish. I'm doing the Heritage this year, which I'm super excited about. They're going to carry it in the retail tent this year, and I got to create a special collection for them that includes the lighthouse and some golf pieces. So I'm very excited about it. Also scarves, which has been super fun with the silk. It's so cool. I feel like a lot of things are coming full circle for me at this moment. So it's been an exciting time for me.
And does your family get involved in your business?
Yes and no. I think it's like sometimes they are definitely there, and then sometimes I think they're burnout too. I think I've done it for so long that some of them might be over it. They definitely try to offer and step in whenever they can. But yes, I think my dad was a huge help in the very beginning when the hammered shapes that we did, we hand hammered every shape, and it was so overwhelming for me. And I tried training a lot of people on it, and it really wasn't working out, and they weren't looking right. So my dad was able to do it. And so he helped so much, as well as my mom and my aunt and my cousins. They will all come and package if I get in a pinch. My husband has always been super supportive, and he's shipped every Christmas as much as he can for me when it's busy. And I feel like they're always there when they can. The girls help, but as they become teenagers, they less and less want to help unless I ask. So they do a lot of the stringing and anything I can get them to do. And I love if they come with me to pop-ups because it's fun to have them there with me. It ends up being kind of like family time when we're together. Even though we're working, it's still nice to be with each other. So they still help. But sometimes it gets harder because they get over it too after a while because we work a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hours.
Well, where can we find you this spring and online? And
yeah, so I guess the Heritage will definitely have the jewelry. I'm also going to be doing the polo match that's at Rose Hill. I have some really fun pieces that I created just for them that are in line with the equestrian theme and have like a fun Ralph Lauren vibe, which I love everything Ralph Lauren. So I'm excited about that. And I guess I typically slow down in the summer. I like that to be my take a break and really recheck where I'm at and what I want to do, especially because it's hot in the South. And I don't like to pop up in the summer. So I really take that time to kind of design and reorganize, restructure.
Your comment about my ideal customer doesn't sweat, right?
They don't. Like my customer, I learned that. I went to Beaufort Waterfest a long time ago, and my customer was not out there. They were not out sweating, and it was like, I think this might not be a good time for me to be selling. So I have not done that since. But yeah, I will be popping up at branches. They're also going to carry a lot of Little Fish at branches. So they're going to set up a little spot that's kind of like a makeshift store of Little Fish in their shop. And that's coming soon too. So there's lots of little things in the works. I'm having so much fun designing. I'm going to design a piece for the Concourse car show for next fall, which is exciting. And I have to start soon on a lot of these things because it takes time, especially with the company that I found, a partner that manufactures for me now, which took me a long time to find. That's another thing that's very hard. And it's a secret that nobody shares is that if you want anything manufactured, it's very hard to find quality and a good partnership. So I had found that 3 years ago with Little Fish, and it's been awesome to work with them. And so now it feels like there's this whole new avenue of design for me that I can just design an AutoCAD drawing and they can create anything that I give them, which is like, that's where I get so excited. But I don't have enough time to do all of it.
It's very impressive that you know AutoCAD. Like, I gotta say.
Interior design in college, you have to take a lot of AutoCAD. I was like a TA. I loved AutoCAD. Awesome. And that was my first job. That's kind of all I did in the architecture firm was AutoCAD. Yeah.
So that's great, about finding your manufacturers. I know people will come up and say, well, where do you get this made? And I'm like, well, I'd love to tell you.
But it's very hard to find.
It's very hard to find, and that in and of itself is a job, finding your manufacturer.
I think it took me 8 years to find them. So, and I'm still finding all different types for different things, but this one has been like a really great one for me that has changed my life. It really has given me the gift of time back a little bit in some areas. So that's awesome. And the quality is great, which that's hard to find too when you don't know who you're
and that is also what I love about your products. The reason, you could have found a a manufacturer years and years ago, but your quality control is so...
I try. I am not perfect. I know things are failing out there still, but what's great is that I am very open to feedback from my customers, and I try to tell them every time that if anything were to happen, please get in touch. I continue to source my metal suppliers. I have to change often because sometimes they're not stocking the same pieces that I was using forever, which is frustrating, and I have to resource all over again. And with gold prices right now, they're through the roof. It's insane. And to try to maintain that price point that I've had that's pretty fair over the years, it's hard. So I continue to learn with my customer. I continue to try to improve on all of my techniques, but I'm not perfect, and it is handcrafted. And sometimes things aren't always going to be great, but I'm going to keep trying to be the best I can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And
Yes.
I had the privilege years ago, I think it was at the Habersham, what is that, Harvest
Yes.
Fest, of meeting Lissy in
That's
person.
right.
I couldn't believe she was out there selling her own jewelry because to me, I said, you're famous. I've been wearing your
my
stuff for years.
gosh.
Which I know is embarrassing you, but if you get a chance and you haven't met Lissy, you have to come meet her in person because she is just so joyful and
thank
so much
you.
fun. And,
You're so
you know, she is, again, such a cheerleader
I hope to be.
of other women entrepreneurs and creatives. And so I really recommend you meet her and just keep
Thanks,
your eye on these wonderful brands. I just can't wait to see what comes from both of them.
Thank you.
And congratulations on Clover and Palm.
I appreciate it. It's exciting.
And thank you for coming here today.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome. I love this space. Thank you.